So, emphasis is the principal emphasis assumes the coexistence of dominant and subordinate elements in a composition. Okay, so emphasis is the area of focus or focal point, an area where the eye tends to center, so it actually draws your eye. It makes the most important element stand out, and it also is also known as dominance. Okay, so in emphasis and contrast, so when you have two related items that are different, so you have your greater difference and greater contrast, and it breaks monotony in the space or in a composition, and it achieves contrast with size, value, color, type, the texture, the shape, alignment, direction, and the movement. Okay. So in any composition, you create dominant elements to have that focal idea or the focal element in which highlights your space. So this is no dominant elements. It has no emphasis or anything. So it's just linear pattern. So it doesn't break any, you know, any s- rules. It's actually very monotonous and boring. So with the dominant elements, you play around. So this is just no emphasis since it draws you to different spaces. So this one, you have the dominance of this window. For this one, you have the dominance of this treatment or that element. Okay. So emphasis. So there's can be seen in the shift in geometry. So you have these very linear lines, and you create this emphasis using this composition there. So emphasis also can be spotlighted if you want to create uh, a direct, let's say, if you want to direct the attention to a particular piece or a sculpture, you create a spotted or a light, creating that attention or drawing your viewers or your users to that space. So you have your center of focus. So it's basically from all angles, you'll be able to perceive or to see this element. And then you have the termination of axis. So you have this drawing to a direction, and this is your focal point. So emphasis in the landscape. So with this, you create a central focal point. With this one, your focal point is directed into your chandelier. So all of the elements are playing their part to highlight that. So you have the radial balance or the radial symmetry here, and then it terminates this with an emphasis with using a chandelier. Okay. Other forms of emphasis. So all of these elements are actually uh, drawing your eyes to the central portion. Same for this one. So you create this visual emphasis. You have this visual emphasis around. So that one. Okay. Right. So there is a spread out emphasis with regards to the space. So it actually draws you into the central portion. So Manisha. And then for this one as well. So this is your emphasis, the composition, and the dining experience. So for emphasis in determining in an architecture, so the emphasis is how it played out in regards to the environmental aspect. For Alvaro Siza in Berlin, so very uh, you have emphasis in your facade. So the irregularity of the lines in relation to the very planar design. Okay. So other emphasis is the Church of Light by Tadao Ando. So the central portion is your emphasis. Faculty of Economics. So this is your emphasis point. So all of the buildings is actually, or the rest of the structure is supporting that of the central. This is your main emphasis. Okay, thank you.